never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast. I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past. And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
All right, y'all, we're here. We're live. It's Friday. It's WrestleMania weekend, and we got a great guest here tonight. You know what you got to do. You got to like this video. You got to share this video. You got to go to Buster H.R. Johnson on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to hit that little bell. That way you know when content's coming out. Look, it's always a treat anytime I get to talk to my guest tonight. But before we do, you know I got to promote these upcoming podcasts. There's a couple new ones added, so check out towards the end. And then we're going to get this show on the road.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them.
All right, y'all, you seen it right there. Got some killer podcasts coming up next week. Tuesday, I got Iceman Sosa, and Wednesday, Old School versus New School Manager Showdown. Sexy Sam Dollar taking on Too Fine Justin Klein. Man, I feel like these guys are going to be oil and water. I really don't know what to expect, but I expect fireworks. But tonight, guys, it's all about the lady who sets the bar around this area for all of the women. I think she's the one, when she came along, she changed the game for every woman in this business around our area. What it takes to be there and be on top. Here's the thing. Whether she knows it or not, I don't know if she realizes it. I'm sure she does. She's already making history. She is the first Triple Crown champion around our area. She has held the Memphis Wrestling Women's title. She has held the Premier Pro Wrestling Women's title. And she is currently your EPW Women's Champion. And let me just say this. that is a feat unto itself right there. That puts her in the history books. The 3 most prestigious women's titles around our area. Let me just tell you this right now. She is my goddess and yours. They call her the Lady Thanos, none other than Nyxx.
You always give the absolute best introductions, man.
I appreciate that, girl.
Like, don't gas me up. Keep gassing me up, but don't gas me up though.
Hey, man, here's the thing. It's facts, though. I feel like, I mean, let's just lay it out there. This ain't the normal interview because we've been on before. People they know your history. It's all about me and you getting here, talking about what's going on right now with you, what's going on in wrestling. And we're just having a conversation. But the fact of the matter is, true facts. I feel like when you came along, it changed the game for all of the ladies. It raised that bar. I feel like you are the measuring stick around our area of what any female wrestler wants to be and should want to be. Like I said, let's just talk about you being the first ever Triple Crown champion, because these are the 3 most prestigious women's titles around our area.
You know, Buster, I actually never thought about that. This is my first time hearing it out loud, you know? So I didn't know until literally just this moment that I'm the first ever, you know, Triple Crown champion. And that actually means a lot, especially being that I haven't really been doing this that long, you know? It's really humbling, to be honest, because that means that I've represented 3 different women's locker rooms in 3 different very nice companies, like companies that people have their eyes on. So yeah, I did that. I did that.
I mean, it's cool, girl. It's really cool. I mean, here's the thing. Obviously, EPW on TV, Memphis Wrestling on TV. Premier Pro's not on TV, but the truth be told, they run some of the best shows, and they bring in the top indie talent from all over the country. And I don't think there is no doubt that those 3 are the women's titles that any lady around our area wants to hold. Let me ask you this: are you still the workhorse champion at APW?
I am. In fact, I think I just hit my year mark a couple of weeks ago, actually. So I've had this for about a year now. Yeah.
And see, that takes you in a whole different realm, just so people know. Yeah. That's not a specific women's title or a title for the females. That right there, that's a straight up APW workhorse title, men and women, and you're the only woman. Hey, once again, history right there. We're talking about you making history. You're the first woman to ever hold that title, and I feel like it's going to be a long time before somebody else comes along and gets to hold that title.
And you know, to be real, because you know how I feel about that specific title. Like that's my home company, so that meant a lot. But people they tend to forget I didn't beat just one man for that title. I faced 2 men at the same time in a triple threat. And I came out on top. And I made history. Like, not just women's history. I made history, just period. Which is a goal for me. Like, I'm not in wrestling just to kind of like coast, you know. I'm here for world domination. You know?
And that's the first thing I noticed about you. You got drive, you're hungry. You're not just satisfied wrestling on Friday and Saturday night. You want to do this for a living. You want to make this a full-time career, and that's what it takes, man. Don't be a placeholder is the way I look at it. If you don't want to be as big as you can possibly be in this business, then get out of it, and so somebody else who does want that can have a spot, you know.
You taking up space. You breathing in oxygen that's not for you. Move. Because there are people like me so whenever I meet people in this business and they're like, you know, I really want to wrestle and stuff like that, what I expect from them is to have either the same drive as me or higher.
Right.
So when I hear like, yeah, I really want to do this, but I'm seeing you treat it like a hobby, you're not putting any effort for training, you're not putting in any effort towards your gear, you're not putting any effort in your psychology, like it just seems like you don't care. And this isn't a business where you can't care. You have to care. Because
And
at the
all
end of the day, we're out here trying to be great. We're trying to tell the story. So if you don't care, it makes you look bad. It makes who you're in the ring with look bad, and then the crowd is just not into it, and that just defeats the whole purpose of us being there. You know?
and it's all about that total package too. Like you said,
Yeah.
it ain't just how good you are in the ring.
Right.
You got to have the package. You got to be able to talk. You got to have that charisma. You got to be able to go in the ring, but you also got to look good doing all of this. You got to have professional gear, something that sets you apart from every other person out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of people really understand that, because you can be the 5-star in ring master, but if nobody wants to look at you, none of that matters.
It's a vain business. It is a very vain business. To say that looks don't matter would be a lie. And
Oh
sure,
yeah, it's fully cosmetic. There ain't no doubt about that.
yeah, because people want to see of course they want to see like the larger than life character, but part of being the larger than life character is how you look. If you go somewhere brand spanking new, right? This is you're debuting at this company. As soon as you hit the curtain, they're not listening to what you're saying. You're not doing any moves yet. They're looking at you. So if you don't look like nothing, they're not going to care about anything you do past that point. You might be able to do some flippity doodads and get a big gasp at some point, but the first impression is what they see when you hit the curtain.
There it is, because I see so many people, and it's more dominant. Usually the ladies, always the ladies always try to. They've got good. Their gear is good looking. They look presentable. But I see so many guys that look like they might not. They shouldn't even come out of the dressing room. They should play their intro music, and they should get right out of one of the seats and hop in the ring. I mean, it's like you said, the first thing they see is your appearance. So you
Right.
got to have something that draws that attention. You got to look like somebody. They don't come and pay $10 a pop for you to look like their next door neighbor.
Right. Right.
You
So
know?
this is the thing about that. And again, I know what it's like to struggle. I'm still an indie wrestler. I'm not making bands. I don't have a contract yet, but there's still some things that can, because like for instance, the gear that I just debuted at EPW, that's my first set of actual professionally made gear. I'm 4 years in, and
Right.
this is my first set of professionally made gear. Everything else is something I either made or something that I just put together to make myself look like something. So when people are like, oh, I don't really have the money for, X, Y, and Z, I get that. But you can still put in effort to make yourself look like something with a little bit. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on gear. You can still piece some things together and make it look like something. So like when I hear that, to me it's excuses, because I know what it's like to struggle, but I still do what I need to do to make myself look presentable because it's not just the crowd I'm trying to present to. I'm trying to get a contract. I'm trying to get eyes on me. So
That's
if I
right.
get eyes on me and then I look like I didn't put any effort into my gear, they're not going to care. They're going to be like, oh, that's just some chick that wears a crown sometimes. And like, you're not going to catch me in a t-shirt and kick pads. I'm going to put it that way.
Right.
Nothing against the people that wear t-shirt and kick pads, but it's a generic look. And if you're trying to be a generic wrestler, then that's fine. But you can't say that you're trying to be the next whoever, because they're not out here wearing t-shirt and kick pads. Even John Cena wore jorts in the ring, but
they fit him, his gimmick.
Yeah. So it has to make sense.
I mean, look at PG-13's kind of the same thing. Long before John Cena, the shorts hooked them up, turned it into their gimmick, and I don't have a problem with that. People say, I mean, they called hell the old timers.
Yeah,
you need to get some real gear. You don't need to wear that. But if that's your package and your gimmick and it looks good, and as long as it looks good, I'm good with it, man. I don't got a problem with it whatsoever. And it's funny that you mentioned, your first professional gear. Girl, believe it or not, when I first broke into business, now I got my gear from K&H, which is an old school gear maker. I don't even know if they still make gear no more. But look, I was still trying to figure out who I was, and I played with painting my face a little bit. Obviously, I wore a mask, but believe it or not, I went home and got me some elastic and some material, and did my best to sew my own like wristbands and shit
Oh wow.
and gimmicks that go over your boot that had some like
Yeah.
fringe hanging off of them almost.
Yeah.
Didn't do bad with them. Honestly, it surprised me I was able to do it. First time I'd ever sewed anything in my life, and I'm sure it wasn't right. But from a distance, if you didn't get it in your hand and look at it, you wasn't going to see that.
Right.
Turned out to look decent. I wore it one time and decided, nah, that's a little too frilly for me. But that's the struggle. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to do whatever you got to do to make what you have presentable, to draw people's attention, man. That's what it's all about. It's like coming out of that curtain. The minute you come out of that curtain, you don't want people looking this direction or that direction. You want every eye in the building on you. Whether you got I wore a mask, so when I came out, first thing I do this scream, and immediately all eyes turn to me from that point on. Whether you do that or whether it's just your attitude and your gear, you got to have something that looks bigger than life to these people so they want to look at you.
Of course. So, and that's what I mean because, so I got to talk to JBL and Farouk at EPW. One of the coolest moments of my whole career, by the way. And anytime I come across a legend or anybody that's been doing this for decades, like anybody that's put that amount of time in, I always ask, if I ask about advice on people that want to do this full time because nobody ever has the same answer.
Right.
Nobody does. But one of the things that that Farouk said was you have to be honest with yourself about, who you are, where you are, have you put in the work, have you and that's a big deal because it goes back into the putting the effort into stuff. The $1 Million Man could not have been the $1 Million Man in a t-shirt and kick pads.
Right.
You can't come out with these gimmicks that you can't afford to maintain, Like I couldn't have been the goddess of the night and wore a t-shirt and kick pads. Like that wouldn't have made sense. If you hear goddess of the night and then I come out and you see me in that, it's like, okay, well, where's the goddess of the night? Because this chick is here, but she don't look like no goddess,
Right.
So I wear the crown, I wear the sparkly stuff, I wear things to grab attention, something that I think a goddess would wear. But you can't come out and be like, well, I'm the CEO of this, but you look like you're digging in trash cans in the evenings to
right.
Even if that's the goal for you, that's a goal that you work towards. So you start with a gimmick that you can maintain, and then you work towards the gimmick that you want. People didn't start calling me Lady Thanos until I started collecting belts, like Infinity Stones. I couldn't have just come out and said that because realistically, that's not where I was at. I worked my way there. I'm still the goddess of the night, but now, you got
the jewels.
Now I'm Lady Thanos.
There you go.
So it's something that you have to be honest with yourself in this business. Everybody wants to be a star, but everybody doesn't want to do the work.
And here's the thing. Everybody wants to be a star, but that don't mean that you're going to be Stone Cold or you're going to be The Rock. You might be a star at a different level under that. That don't mean stop chasing your dream and stop trying for that, because the minute you quit trying, the dream's over. You're done. You might as well. You're where you're going to be. And here's the thing, girl. Last time you were here, you were chasing the EPW women's title. That was your next goal. That was the next jewel. And it wasn't, I don't think it was a month and a half later after last time I had you on, boom, I look up, Nyxx is the EPW women's champion. So talk to me about that chase and then winning that title, girl.
So the chase was crazy because I had to run through pretty much the whole women's locker room because we had the Queen of the Ring tournament. Now, you know me, I'm the goddess of the night, so of course I'm gonna chase a crown. But my goal was that championship. And the thing about going for championships, nothing's personal. It's really a business thing. And I mowed through some people that I respect. Like Diana, as much as we feuded over the years, I respect Diana Taylor.
Right.
She is a hell of a worker.
Yeah.
So whenever we're across the ring from each other, no matter what side, because I've faced her when she was a heel. She's faced me when I was a heel. Like, we've been on both sides of that spectrum with each other. and it's always heavy hitting. We've made history together. We had the first women's steel cage match at EPW. So her being a part of this journey is kind of full circle. But it's one of those things where it's like, dang, Diane, I respect you, but you're in my way. You know,
Right.
I love now me and Erica got history too, but Erica Torres, I respect her, but Erica was in my way. All these women that I respect in the ring were in my way because my goal is to win the gold. It just, for me, it just makes sense for me to be a champion. So in my head, I'm like, man, I don't want to do y'all like this, but I'm about to do y'all like this because y'all are in my way, you know? And I have to make history. I have to stamp my place. I have to leave a legacy. I got kids that I'm trying to, make proud.
Right.
My baby said he wants an action figure of me. So me winning this championship is just another stepping stone to my baby getting that action figure. That's my thought process every time I get in the ring. So when the tournament happened, I was tired. I was tired, and but I'm keeping my nose to the grindstone because I have to make it happen. So then I win that first match. I win that last match, and I'm queen of the ring. Great. The crown was pretty, fantastic, but that's not what I want. Maddie, the American Baddie, had my title, and I could not let her keep that at all. At all. So when I won Queen of the Ring, everybody knew what that meant. Once Nyxx finally got that number one contender spot for that belt, whoever was holding the belt at the time was going to get this work. So I win that. The match is set up with me and Maddie, and Maddie is a hell of a competitor too. I'll give that to her because I've seen her journey from the beginning. So I've seen the growth and all that since she started, and she's kind of a brat at EPW, but she still got that ass tapped. So yeah, I had to, and then I mean, honestly, Buster, look at this. She's so pretty.
It is. That's a beautiful belt.
I had to take this off of her. I couldn't just she'd had it long enough. So I just had to, get that up off her. And I got it. And then I became apparently the first ever Triple Crown champion in the area.
Hey,
I didn't even know that.
If I'm thinking right, Diana Taylor's the only one that's hot on your heels. I could be wrong, but I'm sure she's been the EPW Women's Champion, has she?
I want to say yeah.
And she is the Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion. So she's the only one right now in that running with you, but you was the first. You were the first to do it.
To be real, as long as Diana's been doing this, if she had been the first, I wouldn't have batted an eye because it's Diana. Right. Like it would for when it comes to her, that just makes sense because Diana is great too.
And I love watching Diana. She was at Premier Pro last Friday. She has come so far since the first time I seen her in the ring. She's come so far. Her in-ring work is constantly improving. And then Maddie's the same way. Maddie has got the package in spades, like Maddie in her gear. When she comes out of the curtain, you're going to look at her because she just got that gear that draws your attention. And she has really, really advanced a lot in the ring since the first time I seen her too. Both of these ladies. But I still feel like you're that bar that they've got you're that hurdle that they have to jump over.
I try, man. I try. And that's the whole thing. Like a lot of this is effort. A lot of this is effort and heart. And because I love what I do so much, of course I'm going to put in that effort. Because if I say that I love doing this and then you don't really see any effort, anything that I say is just,
right. You lose your credibility.
Yeah. And I'm trying to be, oh, hello, tiny child. Go play. Go play. I already told y'all, go play. What are you looking for? Go forth and be great. You're so drunk. Okay, baby, go play with your cousins.
Girl, in a few minutes we're gonna see something come by and bounce off of your head. A toy.
To be honest, I've been trying to avoid it, but I feel like they're trying to tag team me. Take your toy and go play, baby. Bye. I love you.
So look,
close my door.
EPW, man, I feel like EPW is starting to really leave its mark and starting to really pull it out in the forefront of wrestling around our area.
Mm-hmm.
Man, just this past Saturday night, y'all were at the Crossroads Arena in Corinth, and over 1,000 people bought tickets to come check out EPW. Talk to me about what it was like working that show. I know you've been in front of big crowds. You've done stuff for Ring of Honor in different places, but talk about that being homegrown promotion right there and seeing that paying crowd right there.
So the thing with EPW is because EPW has been around for a minute,
right?
But you know, now, like if you look back on EPW last year and then look at EPW now, the amount of eyes that we have on EPW has grown exponentially. And you know, you can see that when I talk about effort, it's not just with the workers. With these promotions, you have to see it too, and you can see it with EPW. Like the production value has gotten better. We're doing match after match where you're kind of seeing like the progression of how good the talent is getting.
Right.
Like talent relations in the back, the way that like the locker room is like, you know, meshing together and stuff like that. With EPW is putting itself on the map. It's not one of those things where somebody had to come in and make something happen. EPW is doing that for itself. Like you see the growth. No,
it's been a progressive growth too. It's almost like climbing a set of steps,
right?
One step at a time, man. Right. And I feel like EPW is that rose that's really starting to bloom right now, really starting to blossom.
Yeah, it is. And it's honestly, it's really cool to be a part of. You know, like just seeing it is one thing, but actually like being backstage and like watching all these things happen, watching the progression happen with your own eyes is really special to be a part of, you know? Neil's great. Neil Taylor is doing his best to just like really make sure that, because I think with Neil, with any promoter, Neil Taylor, Ricky Kennedy, like guys like that really just want to build a foundation for their talent to be great.
Right.
And when you have people like them that like really care about their talent, they'll put in the effort to make sure that the framework is perfect for their talent to be able to grow, so that they can get certain eyes on their talent and their talent could go on to do things like get contracts and stuff like that. It's being an indie wrestler is hard. Right. It's hard as it is. But when you have people like them that do all this work behind the scenes to create this like beautiful thing to allow us to be great, it's dope, Buster. It really is.
I think Neil is doing a magnificent job with EPW because, like I said, look, it's a big jump. Saturday night was a big jump from their normal shows, and that was a big leap for Neil and them to take that chance and gamble. Here's the thing. You got to gamble on yourself in the wrestling business, mostly all the time. And here's the end of the deal. None of these companies, EPW, Memphis Wrestling, Bluff City, Hub City, whoever else, none of these companies
all the cities.
are ever going to get any kind of TV deal. They're never going to get a contract for their TV. The best they can hope for is the barter system where we'll give you your TV time for free and we sell the advertisements, you know. But Neil understands that live attendance is what makes money in the wrestling business. Without live attendance, what do you really have? Here's the thing. You can run TV all you want, but you got to be willing to gamble on your product and put your money out there. Go rent that big arena. Whether it's a big arena or an armory, you got to gamble on yourself, man, if you want to make it. And in the indie scene, no TV rights. It's all about live attendances where you guys make money. That's how he makes money, and that's how the company grows for the future. Yeah. TV is just TV. What happens one day? Your TV station calls you in the morning and says, "Look, we're done with y'all. When this contract's up, it's over. If you ain't been running house shows and built your live audience, you're dead in the water. But if you got house shows running, you continue to run those and then find you another TV outlet to get on eventually. Right. And your guys can still make money.
That last EPW show, that crowd was crazy. everything about it was crazy. Like even the like the lights that we had set up, and the lights in the crowd, and like just the crowd in general. Everything about that night was crazy. The crowd was electric. The energy was there, and then like you said, if the cameras weren't there, if we had none of the cameras, and if the lights weren't what they needed to be or whatever, that crowd being there still makes all the difference. Because anybody that's been doing this for any amount of time, and they wrestled for a crowd of like 10, and then wrestled for a crowd like we had at EPW, you know the difference.
Right.
In front of. Yeah, you can still work in front of 4 people. I've done it before. It's a lot easier to work with a crowd that's giving you energy to do what you do, though,
Right.
as opposed to just people that are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs or on their phone and not really paying attention. It's one of those things where like it's a give and take in this business. You're giving to the crowd and they're giving to you, and it's like a tug of war thing. And it's really hard. Like when COVID hit and before the WWE got the Thunderdome and it was just silence,
Right.
and you could see the difference. They're still doing work. The work is still solid, but you could tell the difference when there's no crowd noise. Like, people don't think about how important that is. And yeah, TV is great. Learning how to work a camera is cool. But if you don't know how to work a crowd, it's I had fun. I had a great time. And then I got to sling Maddie around, so that's always fun too.
Well, like you said, JBL and Farouk was there. Heath Slater was there. Enzo was there. Man,
Yeah.
I was
Great guys.
I was hoping. I was so glad when I finally seen some of the pictures and seen the crowd, because that's a big gamble. Here's the thing: EPW would have went in there and drawn 150 people. That would have been a big blow. Not just financially,
Yeah.
but publicly, company image, everything. And a wrestling company's image is just like a wrestler's image. It needs to be there. It needs to be proper so people respect it. And I was so happy when I seen that crowd. And honestly, I was surprised that it broke that 1,000. I was hoping for 600 people. Man, when I heard it went over 1,000, I was like, no, yes, that honestly, I think that's the biggest show that's been ran around here with a paid crowd like that in probably since 2003 or 4. Honestly, you know.
And that's another thing. Like, again, when that goes back to the whole like watching EPW progress and then being a part of the progression. Like, that's hearing that you wrestled in front of 1,000 people is like, what? Like, what do you mean? Especially being an indie wrestler, because we're used to crowds of like 30, 40, 60, whatever.
Right. If we get a couple of hundred, we're extremely happy.
Great night. So
right.
That many people. And then you got to think about it this way. Like, if 1,000 people came out and then 950 of those people are like, man, that was a great show, and they're telling their friends and their family about it, the next go round, those people are going to be like, oh, hey, didn't you say that you went to this show? You said it was a great show. I'm going to bring my people. And then that 1,000 can turn into 2,000 and 2,000. Like, it can grow into such a big thing. And it's just like, wrestling is a word of mouth business too.
Right.
Because I grew up a military brat. So most of my wrestling shows that I watched were like on TV, like WWE, TNA, whatever. So indie shows weren't really a part of my routine as a kid because I never stayed in one place long enough for that. But when you finally do kind of delve into that indie world and you kind of see like, oh, snap, there's a whole other world of wrestling that we don't know about that's right under our noses. The people that do know about it are the people that tell the people that don't know about it. And that's how we gain crowds. So that 1,000 is crazy though. I'm not a big deal, but I feel like a big deal when I hear that I wrestled in front of 1,000 people.
Look, girl, hold on. I mean, let's backtrack a little bit because I've been thinking about this. Honestly, I don't think the Memphis wrestling women's title would be as prestigious as it is right now. I think you were the one that made it that way. It's important because you made it that way. You captured that belt and you held it for a long time. You were dominant, but you also made that belt more special. Because here's the thing: there's some people that think the belt make the guy or the girl. I personally think the guy or the girl make the belt.
They absolutely.
And you made that belt, you took it from here to up here because now it means more than it did when it first come around or before. Whoever held it before you, now it means more. You left it meaning more than it did when you came in. Same thing with Premier Pro. There's been a lot of top ladies from around the country, Ohio Valley ladies, different ladies hold that Premier Pro women's title. That's why it's, for me, it's right there with the other two, with EPW and Memphis, because that belt means something. They can say what they want. This company might not have TV, but for women in the wrestling business, this is one of the titles you want to try to get a hold of.
For sure.
You know,
I kind of want that one back now that you say that, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. So for me, anytime I win a belt, the goal for me is to make the belt mean something. Like, even if it's already meant something before, you should want the belt to mean more when you have it.
Right.
It's all about, you can win the belt, that's cool or whatever, but what do you do once you have it? You know, if you stop caring, if you stop, you don't stop being hungry when you win a championship. Now you're just hungry to keep it. Now you're hungry to make sure that it maintains importance. You're hungry to make it mean something more than it meant when you first got it. And that was my goal when I finally won the women's championship at Memphis, because honestly, I was clawing for that title anyways, and I never really got. The first time I had a one-on-one for the championship was when I was a champion. Before that, it was triple threats and fatal 4-ways and 5-star 5-ways and all these things. So I was scratching and clawing trying to get that title. And once I got it under some questionable circumstances, but I got it. And then once I had it, it was that, you know, I have to show y'all not only why I'm the champion, but remind y'all why I'm a threat.
You owned it. That's the thing. You owned the belt. The belt didn't own you. You owned that belt.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, like, it's my championship, and if you're trying to get it off me, you're going to have to kill me. Like, I'm going to take you to hell and back for you to get this championship from me. And that's what I did. And then, you know, I was a champion for a while, and then, not to say that I did it, because there's a lot of moving parts to stuff like that, but then Memphis ends up on WMC, and me and Mackenzie Morgan are the main event for the championship on the first episode that we're on WMC. Like, that's another history-making moment. That's the goal here. History making and world domination.
Make memories.
Yeah. The people are going to feel something every time I'm in the ring. So you're either going to cheer me or you're going to boo me, but you're going to remember that I was in the ring that night, for sure. Well,
let me ask you this, girl. Like I said, you've kind of, I'm trying to figure out how to word this question. Let me just be blunt with it. Where do you go from here? You've held the three most important women's titles around our area. So what is your next goal around here?
The goals that I have now aren't really a local thing. Like, I would like to be the OVW women's champion. I would love that. I'm trying to work my way over there, but even, you know, going a little bit further. So, WWEID program. Aaron Roberts is the first person from Memphis to make that happen for himself. And that's because a lot of people are kind of hating on him for that too. Kudos to Aaron, because Aaron's been doing this a long time.
Right.
So he's one of those people where if anybody deserves it, he's one of the people that deserve that spot. You know what I'm saying? But for some reason, people were like angry because it's like, oh, well, he got a spot, so that's great for him. I'm finna get one too, though. I'm not trying to hear that if I get a WWID contract, if I do this. For me, it's a matter of when. I'm not trying to hear if. If is not an option. So
that's the attitude you need too.
Yeah. So one of my goals is to get that contract, and I'm gonna make that happen. And I'm gonna do whatever I need to do on the indie scene to make that happen for myself, because that's what I want. And I'm gonna get that. And then I'm gonna get whatever money I get from that. Because once I get that, the price is going up. The price is already going up.
I mean, honestly, look, let's give a shout out to Aaron. He's in Las Vegas right now. I just watched his match from Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Late Wednesday night, man. He came up short, but he made a hell of an impression out there. He looked good out there. And he promoted Memphis. He promoted Dyersburg. He promoted the Mississippi River. So, you know, all these haters, Aaron's bringing a lot of eyes looking at everybody around here, not just Memphis Wrestling.
Right.
Once they look at Aaron and see Memphis Wrestling, then they're looking out and seeing who else is around.
Right.
And I'm not talking about fans. There's people in the know, people that can give you contracts and help you get contracts that are paying attention now.
Right. So this is the thing with the whole like hating situation, because again, who am I to hate on somebody that has a contract that I don't have? You know? And then okay, some people are mad, man, Aaron got the contract. I feel like I should have one. So what are you gonna do about it?
Right.
You're gonna continue to whine because he got one first?
Apparently,
what you need to do to get one as well.
Apparently the people in the know felt like he should get it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then who are you to tell them whether or not they should have given him a contract? They did. So if you feel like you also deserve one, do what you need to do to get it. I'm not gonna sit and gripe and complain, and if I get stagnant, that's everything. All of that is on me. It's my job to take accountability for the role that I play in my career.
Exactly.
If I want my career to go to that next step, I got to do what I have to be honest with myself, like Farouk said, and do whatever work I need to do to fix that. JBL, when I asked him what advice he had, his advice was cover all the negatives. So anything that people have to say about you, you cover it. If the problem is, your weight, go work out, fix your diet, work on your weight. If your problem is your gear, make yourself look like something. Like you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to do the work to strengthen whatever weaknesses you have so that nobody can take anything from you. And that's my whole thing. I'm in competition with myself in this business.
Right.
I'm not in competition with any of the women here. I'm not even in competition with the men here. I'm in competition with me, because the more I outwork myself, the more I'm going to be able to get more eyes on me, the more likely I am to get a contract. And that's the goal.
And here's the thing. Man, this WWE ID thing opened up a whole new world of possibilities in the wrestling business, because I mean, here's the thing. I don't know what the exact dollar amount, and honestly, I bet there ain't a flat rate. I bet everybody's got a little bit different contract. Some may be getting a few more dollars than the other one, but at the end of the day, you're out here on the indie scene, and let's be honest, making $40 a night, and if you're lucky, more. Maybe 50, 60, maybe 100 if you're really lucky and you got a promoter that's a good promoter and a fair promoter. Right. That don't mean that's all you're worth. That's just the economics of wrestling around our area. Right. And for like you, think about that, get that ID deal, you got that subsidy coming in. Now you can go to all these shows, and you're still making that money from them. It helps you get everywhere. It makes it easier on your home life. And then, like you said, that's when you can start making money too. Because I hope like hell, Aaron ain't still getting paid the same $40 or $50 he was around here now. I hope he's at least doubled that, tripled that, because I mean, it's worth it, man. And that's what this business is about. At the end of the day, is making that money. And
that's like going to college and getting a degree and still getting paid what somebody who doesn't have a degree has. Once you have WWE ID tacked onto that resume, price goes up. Once you've gotten that match on Ring of Honor or AEW, your prices should be going up. Like this is a business. We are a business, and that was something that I had an issue with. Is I'm not gonna lie, I was underselling myself for a very long time.
Right.
Even I was doing things, I still wasn't raising my prices until somebody was like, hey, there's no way you should still be we shouldn't be making the same. If I just got in the business 3 months ago, we shouldn't have the same PO.
Right.
Because we've done this, this, and this. And I was like, you're right. But like, especially with Aaron, I swear to God, me and Aaron, we're not like, I'm not going to say we're not, because we don't talk like that. We're not like friends or anything. We've shared locker rooms, but we're not.
Right.
But I'm going to thump him dead on his forehead if he's making the same amount of money before that contract than he is now. Because he did the work. He's been in the business like, 11 years?
He's been in the business since he was 13. He's been wrestling since he was like 13 now.
Right. So 11 years in the business, WWE ID contract, that automatically raises the price. It does. Just realistically speaking, he's putting in the work. He has so many eyes on him right now, especially with his contract. His price should match that.
Right.
And that's
And
not.
it puts you in demand. Aaron, here's the thing.
Mhm.
Aaron, before that WWE ID prospect contract was announced,
Mhm.
uh, I mean, he could go anywhere around here he wanted to and work.
Right.
But now these companies are fighting over who's gonna get him,
Right.
who can
Right.
get him there. I need to book him for the next guy books him.
Mhm.
And he's also going up at different places across the
Right.
country now,
Right.
wrestling on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about that ID deal. I don't know if Tony Khan realizes it yet, but the WWE is basically boxing them in to where they can't get talent hardly. Here's the thing, you know, everybody wants to be ID'd now.
Right.
Everybody out in the independent circuit wants to be ID'd.
Yeah.
And the more they get ID'd, and from what I understand, when you get ID'd, that gives WWE the first right of refusal. If AEW comes and wants to sign, offers you a contract, you can go to your guys in WWE and say, "Hey, this is what they're offering me," and then WWE's got the right to either match it and keep you, or let you go and take that contract. That's
Right.
beautiful. That's beautiful for the wrestlers.
Yeah.
In about 5 years, though, you're going to see that AEW, I feel like, is going to have a problem getting any talent, any new talent, because WWE is signing all the top talent. And I understand there's another round coming. That first round isn't it. There's another round of ID prospects coming. So, I don't know how many they signed this time around, but I know it seems to be a pretty good bit. I bet you there was probably 40 or 50 people they may have signed. I could be off a little bit, but there's a lot of people they signed, and from what I understand, there's another round coming around somewhere here in the future.
So that's another thing. So okay, the WWE ID program was so important because I know for a long time a lot of people on the indie scene were so frustrated because to say that WWE isn't the goal would be a lie for a lot of people. Like that's what you want. You want that contract with the top company in the world so that you can do this on a large scale. And it got to a point where WWE was only signing like college athletes. They weren't really looking at indie wrestlers like that anymore, you know? So a lot of people I noticed were like super disheartened because it's like, man, this is the place where I want to be, but they're not even. I've passed my college age. I didn't play sports in college, and I wasn't a. It was like that. It felt like the door had shut.
Right.
And then the WWE blew the door wide open with this program that was built just for us,
Right.
literally just for indie wrestlers. So it was like we were in a tunnel for a long time, and then we finally got to that light at the end of the tunnel. And it was super exciting, and I remember seeing it everywhere. But then that first batch of ID prospects were ID'd, and then I noticed that people kind of started to like kind of close off. And it's like, why are y'all stopping? Why are y'all not still hungry? Because it's not like those are going to be the only ID prospects they're ever going to have.
Right.
This is just the first wave. Of course, everybody wants to be the first of something, but this wasn't your time to be the first of anything. This was for them. They're the ones that walked through the door first, but the door is still there. And I'm busting down that damn door. I'm not trying to hear that, oh, well, Aaron was the first person from Memphis, so I'm probably not going to get it. No, I'm next. I'm up next. I'm not trying to hear that I don't get a chance because somebody else already did it. I'm doing it.
For me, it would make me, it would up my hopes, man. I would like it's possible now, because here's the thing. I said it when he first got announced and first got ID'd. We have, this area, the Memphis Mid-South area, has been in wrestling purgatory. Probably since, I'll be honest with you, truthfully, since 1997. Terry Golden opened up KAW and ran house shows and did well, and it turned into a developmental deal. So, and they ran a lot of shows, some really big shows at like Oman Arena and different places.
Yeah.
But the territory kind of died in 97 when USWA went under, because they were still working everybody 4 or 5 6 nights a week, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one thing that I feel like Neil is slowly but surely working his way to, man. I feel like he's trying to work his way to running this territory. If you want to rule this territory, you got to run this territory.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true. And to be honest, I don't even think that Neil is trying to be that person. That's just how the cards are falling for him.
Falling out.
Because Neil is super respectful. He always tries to make sure that everybody is happy and comfortable, and then he really just wants his product to be great. So, and then he tries to give everybody a plate. You know, he tries to open up spots for new people to come in. Of course, he's going to have some names come in, but it's not, his show isn't about the names that come in. The show is about us. It's just sometimes we have special guests come in. So he doesn't really lean on the importance of having to bring in somebody to draw people. He leaves that part to us. We draw in the crowd.
That's right.
We just sometimes have other people that might draw in more people, you know? So him, I'm going to be honest, Neil running the territory here, getting to that point, it wouldn't shock me.
Here's the thing. It's all about business. And I get the feeling Neil, I mean, and you're a prime example of this, I believe. He don't let issues that don't involve him affect his business. He don't let somebody else having an issue with a talent stop him from using that talent if he thinks he can, that talent can be successful for EPW. Yeah, that opens up a lot of space right there. I mean, that's the thing about it. A lot of times people make wrestling way too personal.
Yeah.
Way too personal. And that hinders business. It's always hindered business. It stops when it's too personal, it like behind the scenes, that's when the money slows down. That's when you quit making money.
Yeah, so okay. Again, like you said, wrestling is a business. We might love it on a personal level, but wrestling as a whole is a business. And I like to use this phrase where, and some people don't like me saying it, I truthfully don't really care. I tend to do this thing called minding my black business. And when I mean, like, this is my lane over here. This is what I'm doing. Whatever you have going on over there, that's none of my business. This is where I'm at. My black business is right here.
Right.
So I drink my water, I exfoliate, I mind my black business, I wrestle, I go home. Anything outside of that, the whole having heat deal and all, I'm not trying to do all that because my goal, I just want to wrestle. I just love to. So when other people have issues with such and such, and because I tend to work with such and such, I should also have a problem. I'm not doing that. Even if I have heat with somebody, let's say for the sake of saying that I just really had a problem with somebody. If that person works with somebody that I also work with, that's not their problem because it's I have the heat with that person. I have the problem. And as a grown woman, I'm going to handle that problem by myself. What I'm not going to do is allow a personal issue to affect my business.
There you go.
This is how I'm trying to feed my kids. This is how I'm trying to, maintain a roof over my head. Like the goal is to make this a job. I can't do that if I'm too busy worrying about who's talking to who about what. That sounds stupid. That's dumb.
Right.
And with the business, all this gossipy click stuff and this person doesn't like me and that person's talking bad on me. I know for a fact there are people in this business that are around here that I know have talked trash about me. I know. Do I care? No. I can't find it in my heart to care. I've tried to care. Can't do it. Because at the end of the day, it's not my job to make you feel better. My job is to wrestle. My job is to make the people feel something. My job is to get eyes on me. That's what I'm going to do.
And it ain't to let you bring me down.
No.
It ain't to let you, for whatever reason, your drama bring me down. And that's the thing. People get sucked up in that drama. It gets too personal. The wrestlers do, man. The wrestlers get sucked into it bad, man. And I'm like, man, just leave it alone. Go wrestle. Do the best you can while you're there. Be professional. Be on time. Show up. Do what the fuck they asked you to do. And go home. And let everybody else deal with that bullshit, man.
Yeah. So this is my thing. I have never heard of anybody in this business getting paid to care about what somebody else said. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
pay for what they do in the ring. Now, that's not to say that people don't politic and all that other stuff. That happens. But at the end of the day, the meat of what they did to get that money was go out and do their job. I don't get, especially as an indie worker, I'm not getting paid to care about your feelings. That's not my job. I don't work in HR. That's not
Right.
me. I'm going to go, I'm going to play whatever role I need to play in the ring, and then I'm going to go home. Because anything outside of that is above my pay grade. I don't have time for that. I really don't have, I'm 29 years old. I don't have time to care about gossiping and stuff like that. Wrestling has a shelf life. So
Right.
I got to get it while I can. All that extra stuff, take that somewhere else. Go write about it in a journal. Go talk to your therapist. I don't care. I just want to wrestle and I just want to feed my kids off of it.
And it zaps all your good energy.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it'll zap all that negative energy zaps all your positive energy. And if you take, here's the thing about the wrestling business: the same person that hates you today, a week from now, will love you again because something else will come along. It's always, when I first started doing the podcast, and you know, every so often I'll give my opinion on Facebook about wrestling.
Right.
And sometimes I'd catch a shitload of heat sometimes because
Mm-hmm.
somebody didn't like what I said. And it didn't take me but, I don't know, 3 or 4 times of that, and you get heat for 3-4 days or a week, and
Mm-hmm.
then and people are really easy because here's what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to test people and just to fuck with them.
Right.
I would wait a couple of weeks and then I'd go back and I'd see something good that person done, and I
Yeah.
would write about it or say something about it. Then that same person that fucking hated me 2 weeks ago, oh,
Mm-hmm.
now they've done refriending me. They're following me again. The
Mm-hmm.
wrestling business moves like that. Nobody's
Yeah.
gonna stay pissed at you forever. You can get heat and that shit'll be gone in a couple of weeks sometimes, man.
And then like it's a that's another like give and take thing. It's one of those things where it's like they didn't feel like they were getting what they wanted from you, so they hate you. But then the minute that you do something where they feel like they can get something positive from it, the minute they feel like they can gain something, then all of a sudden you're back in their good graces. There were people that really were not messing with me like that. And then I had a match with Ring of Honor. Now all of a sudden it's, oh, Nyxx, I knew you could do it. And you don't have to do all that with me. You
Right.
don't.
Hop off the bandwagon. You wasn't on the
Yeah.
bandwagon before this. Hop on off. Yes, I see it all the time, girl.
And that's what I say. I don't say it all the time, but there are certain times where I'll be like, hop on the wave before the wave hops on you. I know the people that have been rocking with me from the beginning. I know who they are. So you trying to hop on when stuff is good, because I've had people rolling with me since things were bad. You trying to hop on now that things are great? Don't do that. You don't got to do all. You don't have to fake with me. I can see.
And here's the thing about wrestling. Truthfully, it's the underlying factor of wrestling is fueled by jealousy.
Oh yeah.
It is. No, look, the same people that'll smile in your face, if you could read their thoughts, are thinking, I can't stand her. I hope she fails at this. She shouldn't be getting this opportunity. A lot, and here's the thing about it. You should be out there, instead of wasting your time hating on Nyxx, you should be out there trying to prove you're better than Nyxx. Trying
Exactly.
to prove why you deserve that more than she deserves that.
Exactly.
Because hating on somebody ain't gonna get it. You ain't gonna sit behind your keyboard
It's not.
and critique somebody, and you're gonna get it. You got to get out there and get into action. If you want to grab that ring, you got to reach out for it.
And that's the reason why I've been able to accomplish the things that I have been able to accomplish. If it was a matter of me looking at everybody else around me and griping over the things that they had that I didn't have, I wouldn't have done any of the things that I've done so far. That goes back to me minding my black business and staying in my lane. That's how I got what I got, because my competition is me. I'm not competing with anybody else out here. That's not. I don't care about what they have going on. Other people getting stuff, that's great, cool. I'm proud of them. That's fantastic. But what am I doing over here as Nyxx to make sure that Nyxx gets to that next level? To make sure that Nyxx gets that championship? To make sure that Nyxx gets that contract? My goal is selfish. My goal is for me. I don't have time to be jealous. Jealousy wastes energy. All this energy that I could be putting into going to the gym, eating right, training,
Right.
putting it into my gear, making sure that my character is up to par. All of that energy, I put that on myself because I don't have the energy to spare for anybody else. I really don't. You know?
And there's no use wasting that time on stuff
Right.
like that. And here's the thing: wrestling is a selfish business.
It is.
I mean, it's just as simple as that. I mean, it ain't. We're all selfish to a point in the wrestling business.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I was young, the only thing I never did then, and I wish I had it, was politic a little more. And I don't mean go in the dressing room and cut somebody's throat. I mean, a lot of times you got to go in and ask for what you want, or if you got an idea, go pitch that damn idea. The worst they can say is no.
Right. Closed mouths don't get fed.
There you go. You gotta. That's the one thing I wish I would have done more when I was active. And I mean, it's selfish. Everybody's out for themselves, you know. But that don't mean you can't be happy for someone. Going back to Aaron, man, I was. And look, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I told him this. I never even gave him a thought. Why? Because he's been around this area so long.
Yeah.
Been wrestling so long, and he didn't. Here's the thing. I don't know if Vince McMahon, if he would have been in charge, Aaron may not have got that deal.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was going to be Bosby because he's got that collegiate background.
Yeah.
He's young. But at the end of the day, once I seen that Aaron got it, I put him down on paper, him and other candidates. And once I started putting their credentials down on paper, and then you look at their character work and their in work, they made the right choice. They made the perfect choice for the first guy from Memphis to be ID, and that's the first guy in Blake Christian. The thing about Blake Christian, I miss Blake Christian somehow. When I was out of the business, he was in the business, and then by the time I kind of come back into business, he was already in NXT.
Right.
And I see he's just now really starting to get a push on AEW, on Dynamite and stuff.
Right.
But he's another guy from around our area here that is out there really, really pushing for it, really doing something, trying to make the big time, man. And that's what it's all about. And, girl, I hope you get an ID deal the next time around. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a few of you. You, Draco. I think Draco could be in the running for one. And there's several more. There's a lot of good talent around here, but you got to be hungry. And that's what I see in you.
You got to go out and get it. And that's another thing that, especially whenever like I meet new, because I still feel like a baby in the business. Like, I don't know why people are like, oh my God, Nyxx, people look up to you. Why? I'm still freaking out. But when it comes to like newer people in the business, one of the things that when they ask me like, well, how did you get on as an extra here? How did you get a match here? How'd you do that? I went out. You can't just stay in this area. That's not how this works. You have to go out. You have to network. You might meet somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. A lot of my stuff was just pure dumb luck and just being in the right place at the right time with the right person.
But that's because you put yourself out there. That's the thing. You cannot sit at home and wait for a phone call. If there's whether it's TNA, AEW, NWA, EPW, Memphis Wrestling, it don't matter who. If you want to be used, you need to be in their face. You need to be showing up at their shows. Hey, I got my gear. If you need me, I'm here.
Yeah.
You got to be in their face so they can see you, because there's 30, 40 other people wanting that same spot, and the ones who are there all the time and they're looking at, when that spot opens up, somebody don't show up, then they're going to look at this guy. He's always wanted. Let's give him his shot. Boom. Right. But if you're at home, if you go there one time and, hey, I want to work here, and then go home and wait for that fucking phone call, you ain't never going to get that damn phone call.
And then, so that's another thing. I'm so sick of people waiting to be discovered. Stop waiting to be discovered. You already discovered yourself. Go show the people who you are.
Right.
I am. I've already discovered who Nyxx is. All I have to do now is present that to somebody. I can't just sit at the house and be like, okay, well, I'm Nyxx, so they should call me. No. I have to go and show them who Nyxx is and why Nyxx should be a part of their roster. And then once I open up that door, then this person will be like, oh, that's the girl that was from over here. Why don't we bring her over here? And then that person, it's a domino effect. Mommy. Stop waiting to be discovered and go show the people what you've already discovered yourself.
Right. There you go. There you go. There's a kid around here named Jake Painter. And my saying for him is he's already a star. The world just don't know it yet. The world hadn't realized it yet. And that's the thing. But he's also a kid like you too who puts himself in the right places. He's where he needs to be to get the right eyes on him. And that's what it takes. And he's starting to get a pretty good little feature in Ohio Valley right now.
Right.
You know, he came on as the bottom of the barrel, but within a few months, he's starting to get more and more feature matches, more and more opportunities. And that's what it takes. You've got to be in their face. You've got to be in their face. Because here's the thing, especially WWE, you go there as an extra and you meet these people. Man, think about the 1,000 other people they meet every week. You know, all they meet is young wrestlers wanting shots. You know, and if you meet them one time and you think that's enough and you don't go back the next time they're close enough for you to get there, then you ain't going to get that shot. Go back, be in their face. They say, oh, you're the girl I talked to last time. You know, I liked her. You know, there's an opportunity. Let's give her something. Let's use her for something here. But if you're sitting at home, you ain't going to get that paycheck.
No. And I'm trying to get that paycheck. I want that paycheck. Like, I love this. Don't get me wrong. I love wrestling. I'm not trying to do this for free. Like, realistically speaking, I'm not trying to wrestle for free. That's not the goal. The goal is to make this a job. In order for it to be a job, you got to get that money. Like,
there you go, man.
So, yeah.
Here's the thing. Because I actually looked up the definition of career, and it's not my definition. The technical definition is not really my definition. I hear a lot of people retire from wrestling and like it's a career. And I'm like, if you ain't never made a living at this, if wrestling has never paid all your bills, I don't know if it's a career. You know what I mean? You just kind of stopped your hobby. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, look, that is not, I don't remember exactly what the definition is, but go look it up. That is not the definition of career. But from my perspective, a career is what you made a living off of.
Right.
You know, that's what paid your bills. And if wrestling never pays your bills, then at the end of the day, it's a hobby.
Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at the definition right now. No. All of this is nice, but I need that money tacked on the end of that.
I feel the same way. Because I was sure that my definition, I knew it wouldn't be word for word, but I was sure it was going to match.
Yeah.
And man, when I read it, I'm like, man, but I still feel the way I feel about it. If it don't come with cash, it ain't a career.
Right. And that's what I want. Well, maybe that's considered a failed career if you don't have, but in my definition, my career entangles that money.
Career to me means success in something.
Yeah.
You know, you were good enough to do something for years and years that you got paid for.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, let's be honest, even a janitor, if that's what he does and that's what he did his whole career, that's a career at the end of the day. If that's how he fed his family and paid his bills, that was a career. Right. You know, it just is, man. There's a lot of hobbyists out there, you know?
Yeah, and for me, wrestling is not a hobby. It's just not. There's too much that I've put into it and too much that I'm still putting into it and willing to put into it for this to just be a hobby. I can't stop. With everything that I've accomplished so far, I can't stop until I get what I'm trying to get. And that's a contract.
There you go. You got to collect them jewels. You can't be the Lady Thanos if you ain't collecting jewels, girl. You know?
Like, Buster, look, because you saw the little gauntlet I had. They didn't have a crown. They didn't have an infinity crown. So I made one.
I love it. I love it.
Cannot stop until my baby gets that action figure. My son action figure me, and I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
So look, girl, we got a few more minutes. We're fixing to wind down. Open forum right now. We're talking about anything you want to talk about, life or wrestling related. You start talking, and I'm with you.
Man, okay. Go ahead, baby. Go ahead, little baby. Okay, then go find something else to do. Well, since he's here, I'm gonna just talk about like just life as a whole, just being a mom and trying to do this, being a parent and trying to do this. Being a wrestler is hard enough as it is. It's hard. It's so difficult. Being a wrestler and having a family.
Right.
Really think they like people that are like 16, 17, 18 don't really have any responsibilities or anything like that. Them getting
Mama and daddy still paying for their trips to go wrestle and their clothes and stuff.
Oh my God, I get so frustrated when I see these young kids that have no responsibilities, that aren't pushing themselves to do this. Granted, they're still in that invincible phase. They don't really have that, like, man, the clock is ticking push.
There you go.
But it's like, dude, granted, I love being a mom. I feel like I started wrestling when I was supposed to, because I probably would have done something real stupid if I would have started at that time. I needed to live a bit of life first before I got in the ring.
Well, it takes mature. Here's the thing. All right, and most people get into wrestling real young.
Yeah.
17. You know, when I broke in, I actually lied on my waiver form because I was 17. You know, so. But at the end of the day, they just wanted their money. They, you know, they didn't even never go check that. They took the money, took the waiver form, and I didn't. Of course, I was also 6'1" and 350 pounds too. So, but it takes maturity. If you don't have a certain amount, the more maturity you have within yourself when you break in the wrestling business, the better chances you have in the business, I believe.
Yeah.
It's discipline. You got to know, like you said, when you're young, that clock's never running out of time. As you get older, then you start looking at, oh shit, my clock's half over. It's steady clicking this way, you know, short time.
Yeah. But that's, and then when you're young, you make those excuses. Oh, well, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, with somebody like me that has kids that I'm trying to make proud and that I'm trying to feed, and I have all these things and I don't have as much time, the grind is different. And I really just want to be a cautionary tale to these young people coming in, because it's like, dude, you have time, but you don't have time. Like, you can't get time back. If you lose money, you can make money back.
Right.
Time, though, you don't have it anymore. It's not like you can go get a loan on some time. You can't.
Right.
So when you have the time, you got to make the best of it. If I had some of the opportunities that a lot of these young kids had before, I probably would have taken them, but I didn't. I'm just utilizing the opportunities that I have now. But, and this is another thing. When I say that wrestling is hard, people see the end product, and
they don't see the work.
Yeah, they'll think they'll just get in and that's what's going to happen. You don't see the literal blood, sweat, and tears that go into this from the outside looking in. And when you do it, some people, they're lazy. I don't like lazy. I do not like lazy in this business.
Talking about time, when you're young, you feel like you're not pushing yourself. You're not really going after it. It's because I got plenty of time. No, like you said, every second that ticks by, you can't get that second back. Never. It's gone forever.
And then, to be honest, with wrestling, we're probably taking some time off of our lives anyways, with all these bumps, all these crazy moves, all these spots and stuff like that. The time that normal people have, we don't always have that. Wrestlers are dying younger and younger every day. So you're wasting time that as a wrestler, you might not have. You got to get it while you can get it. Make it. Go to the gym, fix your diet, train, for the love of God. Train and get your foundation together. Don't start on the top rope. Learn how to lock. Learn how to bump. Learn how to run some ropes properly. Learn how to do a drop down. Like, do what you need to do to build your foundation, because all the greats that you see, most of the greats that you saw started where we were at. They started building the foundation. They started doing the work. And they were hungry for it. They weren't lazy. You can't be a John Cena or a Randy Orton or a Ric Flair or an Undertaker or a Shawn Michaels. You can't be any of those people and be lazy. You got to pick a struggle. You know? So
yeah, I agree with you 100%. Speaking of Cena, look at Cena. Like you say, everybody sees the dude now. But they don't think about the dude who slept in his car and I done forgot what he was talking about. Something about pizza. When he was broke and in his car training, he would go somewhere, and if you ate the whole pizza you got it for free. So he would go there every day and eat pizza. I mean, sounds stupid, but I mean that's paying your dues, man. That's part of it, man. That dude was hungry, and at the end of the day, it paid off for him. He had drive enough to stick with it. I tell people all the time, don't get discouraged with wrestling because you're going to have your ups and downs. That's just part of the business. You can't just because you get kicked in the ass one day, you can't let that end your whole, well, I'm done with this shit. It ain't for me. If this is what you really want, you got to go after it. You're going to get kicked in the ass. It's about dusting off and getting right back up and moving forward. Turning around, waiting for that next kick in the ass because it's coming somewhere down the line.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've fallen flat on my face several times in the few years that I've done this. And had I let any of those instances stop me, I would not have gotten anything that I've gotten. But it's one of those things where if you love what you do, you have to be prepared for everything that comes with it. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there will be a lot of bad and a lot of ugly. There's going to be some, sure, if you do the work. But there's going to be plenty of bad and ugly. That's life as a whole. You just got to get over that, and you got to make something happen for yourself. Do the work. It's going to be a struggle, but do the work anyways, because at the end of the day, you can't expect the good things to come if you're not willing to work through the bad.
Right.
You know?
I agree with that 100%, girl. Girl, I guess we're going to wind it down. We've been going about an hour and 15 minutes. Always a pleasure, as always. Hey, I've really enjoyed this one. I mean, I've enjoyed every one of them we've done, but this one, we didn't have to go through all the same bullshit. We was able to just talk wrestling, and that's really what I love doing, is talking to you guys and girls. Girl, you know how I feel about you. I'm always rooting for Nyxx.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Yeah, you've always been a pleasure to work with, Buster. Always, every single time.
I appreciate that, girl. Plugs, social media, upcoming shows, anything you want to plug?
I have a show tomorrow in Illinois. I'm actually in a tournament for New Genesis Wrestling. They're having their first ever women's championship.
I seen the flyer for it.
I'm gonna be going against Lilith Grimm. I was actually supposed to go against another lady back January by the name of Lexi Green, and she took me out, Buster. She took me out, and she probably should have killed me, because now I'm finna tap that ass like I did Maddie's. I don't have time for this. I don't know why these females keep trying me, but Lilith Grimm, she's at work tomorrow. As soon as I'm done with her, I'm finna get my hands on Lexi. Whoever else is in my way to getting that championship, it's a wrap. You know,
it's all about those jewels. You can't be the Lady Thanos without all those jewels, girl.
Come on. You know.
Social media. Let everybody know how they can get in touch with you, girl.
Of course. So, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I keep wanting to say Twitter, but it's X now. Ooh.
It'll always be Twitter to me.
Man, it's always Twitter. XTHEGODDESS. Follow me on everything. I really need to get better at my social media. I'm working on it. Grandma be tired, but I'm trying to get my life together. So yeah, follow me on all the things. That's how you keep up with me. That's how you can figure out where I'm at so that you can be there too.
Girl, thank you so much for coming on. I always tell you, I appreciate it so much. But if it wasn't for you guys and you girls, I wouldn't even be doing this. There wouldn't even be a show. So without you coming on, there wouldn't be no me doing this. And I appreciate all of you. And go take care of that baby. That baby's looking for you. You done put him off. It's time to take care of him now.
Yeah, I'm about to go. He's probably hungry. I'm hungry too. So I'm about to go feed them and make them go to bed.
Time to put the crown down and put the mama hat on,
Oh, it's always on. I just put the crown on top of
it. Girl, you have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. All right, y'all, you seen it right there. Nyxx, the goddess of the night, EPW Women's Champion. You get a chance to go see this lady anywhere in the country or the world. EPW, Premier Pro, New Genesis. It does not matter. If you see her name on the card, go check it out. She's worth the price of admission all by herself. Look, guys, let me promote these upcoming podcasts one more time, and then I'll let y'all get out of here.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just wrote an obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drag the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them.
All right, y'all, you seen it right there. A lot of cool podcasts. I'm going to be adding more probably next week. There'll be a couple of more on there, new ones. Look, next Tuesday nights when it all starts, 7 p.m., Iceman Sosa. Really looking forward to talking to this guy, man. He's starting to make a name for himself at Memphis Wrestling. I'm pretty sure he's still the UCW heavyweight champion. If I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And then Wednesday night, Sexy Sam Dollar versus Two Flying Justin Klein, old school versus new school. Manager face-off. That's one you don't want to miss. I want to appreciate everybody. I want to appreciate you guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to appreciate, instead of thank you, I'm going to appreciate you. I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight, everybody who interacted, and I want to thank most of all Nyxx for coming on. Guys, I'll see y'all next Tuesday, 7 p.m.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that. Spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas. Think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
And the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness. Hilarious, you think you're with my time, you're delirious. Mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior. Inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah.
Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.